Hey beautiful people, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Norma. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful dress. You can see here, it has front pockets as well, and it is very detailed. Even as beginners, trust me, you can pull this through with a twinkle of an eye. It is very detailed. Okay, so before we dive right into the tutorial, if you're yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do well to hit on the subscribe button and join this beautiful family. Okay, I'll give you guys like 2 seconds to do that. Yeah guys, thank you so much for joining this beautiful family, and if you're returning subscribers, you guys are the best. Okay, thank you so much. I see your love. I do not take you for granted. I really appreciate it. And if you watch this video also, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps this channel grow. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So guys, this is the fabric which you're going to be using to make this dress. Okay, so to start off, you have to determine your fold. Okay, to start off, you have to determine how you want to fold your fabric. So to determine that, you have to use the widest part of your measurement. For me, my hip is the widest part, so you divide the widest part, which is your hip, divided by 4. And this is a free dress, guys. So once you divide your hip by 4, you add your ease of about 1.5 to 2 inches because it's free. Then you add 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I just divided my hip by 4. I added 2 inch for my ease and 1 inch for my sewing allowance, basically. So right now I'm going to be starting the drafting of this dress. So I'm going to be ruling out that line, which is going to be serving as my starting line. So from that line, I'm going to be taking my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I'll take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and I'm also going to be adding half an inch to that. Okay, shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half an inch, because that half an inch is going to be serving as your sewing allowance to join it to the sleeve. Then I came down from there by 1 inch to create my shoulder slope. Then I connected it to the 3 inches I have at my shoulder, at my neckline. Then I added half an inch back at the top there to just give my shoulder joining allowance. Please, this is very important. If you don't do it, it will make it shorter, okay, at the shoulder. So from the 1 inch I have there, I came down by 7 inches because this is a free dress. I used 7 inches for my armhole. Okay, then I measured what I have on my shoulder and I placed it back on my armhole line. That's my chest area there. So I just connected that line to give me my armhole line. Okay, so I'm going to be measuring what I have on my armhole. I'm dividing that into 2, looking for the midpoint. Now that I've located the midpoint, I'm going to be coming in by half an inch at that point so I can make my front armhole curve. Then at the sharp area there, I came up by 1 inch. You always do this if you do not have an armhole curve. It helps your curve to be more defined. Okay, so now I've gone ahead to make my armhole curve, my front armhole curve. So now from the shoulder, I'm going to be measuring my shoulder to my waist. Okay, that's shoulder to your half length, and your shoulder to your hip line. Okay, that's the fullest part of your hip. So I'm just going to be connecting those points into a straight line. Okay, so now I'm also going to be taking my shoulder to the full length of my gown. Okay, so I'll measure from my shoulder to the length of the gown, however you want it, just measure yours. Okay, so I've measured the full length of my gown there, and that is what I have there. So I'm just going to be measuring the same thing at the other part. Okay, make sure when you're taking this measurement, you add your sewing allowance. I've added my sewing allowance of 1 inch. Okay, at that down part there. So now I want to be taking my horizontal measurement. Okay, so I'm measuring my bust, taking my bust measurement divided by 4 on my chest line there. I added my 2 inches for my ease and 1 inch for my sewing allowance. So I'm going to be going down to my waist area, and I'll divide it by my waist by 4, and add my 2 inch for my ease and 1 inch for my sewing allowance. Then I'll move over to my hip area, divide it by 4, and add 2 inches for my ease and 1 inch for my sewing allowance, basically. So that is what I have there. So I'm just going to be connecting those points together, like you can see me doing. I hope this is visible enough, but I think it's visible to an extent. Hope you guys can see it. Please bear with me, okay, and do not skip because of that. Just watch it to the end, you will understand what I'm doing. So now I'm going to be going back to the down part, okay, measuring what I have on my hip, and I'm going to be taking that same measurement to the hem of this dress, okay. So I'm just going to be measuring it straight like so. So now we are done with our front pattern and with our front bodies, and I'm just going to be cutting this out like so. So I'm making this video a bit fast so that it will not be too long, but I know you guys will be able to get what I am doing, okay. It's very understandable. You can see I'm just cutting through the shoulder like that. Now I'm done cutting out for the front, so I'm going to be folding another piece of fabric to cut out for my back, okay. So I folded another fabric for my back. You can see it's on the fold because this doesn't have a zipper, so I'm just going to be bringing my front bodies and placing it on the back bodies like so. So there is no zipper allowance, so that is why it's starting at the fold is starting at the same point there. So now there will just be a little bit of trick here, okay, because for the front armhole we came in by ½ an inch, but for the back we're going to be replacing that ½ an inch. It's going to be straight, okay. There'll be no cutouts on the midpoint there. Then I'll take it back to the armhole like so. So that is just the difference with this back, okay. So I'm just going to be cutting the rest exactly the same as the front. So guys, if you have watched up to this point and you're not yet subscribed, please do not forget to hit on the subscribe button and join this beautiful family, okay. Let's get on to 500 subscribers this week, okay. Thank you so much, guys. Now I'm just going to cut out like so. You can see what I'm doing. So I'm done cutting out for my back bodies, okay. Now I want to go ahead and cut out the neckline. For the front, I'm coming down by about 7 inches, okay, because the front is actually a V shape, okay, depending on how deep you want yours to be. I came down by 7 inches, and at the width I came in by 3.5 inches on the width of the neckline for the front, and 7 inches for the depth, okay. So now for the back, just 1.5 inches for the depth of the neck, and the same thing as the width, okay, as the front and back, the width is the same thing. So now I'm done cutting out the back, so I remove the back piece to cut out my front neckline. So you can see what we have there, this sweet V shape neck, okay. So now we are done with the bodies. So now we're going to be cutting out our sleeves. So now I've gone ahead to fold another fabric. You can see what I did here. I folded it into 2, then I will fold it again into 4 because I want to cut out both sleeves at the same time, okay. I'm just going to cut out both sleeves at the same time. So now you go ahead and determine how long you want your sleeve to be. For me, my sleeve is about 13 inches. So to cut out this, so the fold now I have is 13 inches basically. So I came down for my sleeve cap height by about 4 inches. So from the midpoint there, you just go in with an inverted S, okay. So I just want to make quick tutorial on this sleeve, okay. So I just came down by 4 inches for my cap's height, then I measured the midpoint of my sleeve, and I took my curve from the end to meet the midpoint, and then to the down part of the sleeve, basically just like an inverted S, okay. That's just how it is. So now I'm going to be measuring. To take my my bicep measurement, you have to locate where your bicep is. For me, it's about 7 inches, so that is where I'm going to be placing my measurement. Okay, divided by 2, and I added about 1.5 inch for my sewing allowance. Then from my elbow, because this sleeve is going to get to my elbow, then you take your sleeve measurement on your elbow round and divide it by 2, and also add 1.5 inches for your sewing allowance. So I've done that. I'm just going to be connecting it like so, then cutting this out. Basically, it is very simple to cut out your sleeve, guys. So you know we had a fold here. I'm just going to be slitting that into 2 to have my 2 sleeves. So our sleeves are ready. This is what we have. So now I've gone ahead to cut out another piece of fabric I'll be using for my pocket. Okay, and when I cut this out, I also went ahead to iron it down. Okay, the sides I'm going to be stitching on top of my dress. So now I'm going to be bringing the front bodies, because we are going to be attaching our pocket first before using our lining, because I went ahead to cut out lining for this top exactly the same way I cut out for the back for the fabric. So now you can see that I have used my iron to fold those edges that I'm going to be stitching down inward. So now the top part, I'm just going to be folding it and stitching it down. Then once I'm done stitching it down, I will be bringing my velvet bias, because I want to use this bias to highlight the pocket more. So I'm going to be placing it at that top part, and I'm also going to be stitching down at both sides to secure the bias to this pocket. So now once I'm done doing that, I'll just bring my pocket and I'll place it on my dress, the front part of my dress. And to locate where I'm going to be placing this pocket, you just take your tape measure and measure from your shoulder to your waistline. Okay, then you can come down by about 1 inch from your waist, or 1.5 inch from your waist is fine. Then you place your pocket there and you stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch all the way, all those 3 parts that I folded in, those corners I folded in. I'm just going to be stitching all the way round. Okay, so I'll have my pockets. So once I'm done fixing that pocket, I'm also going to bring in the velvet bias, and I'll also place this at the midpoint of this dress. Okay, I'll just secure it like so. I just wanted to have that fitting there. Okay, so once I'm done stitching that's when I'm going to be bringing in my lining, and I'm going to be using it to turn the neckline. You can see, but what I did, the difference from my lining from the fabric of this lining from the fabric is that it's about 1 inch shorter than the main fabric, so I can use it to turn in my fabric so it doesn't show. You can see that part I'm going to be using to turn. I have an interfacing there. It helps to give it this relaxation. I really like it. It doesn't let the lining to bulge out. So you can see what we have done here. I've fixed the pocket, I've fixed the bias at the center. I've also turned it at the down part and also at the neckline area. You can see how neat this is. I've also done the same thing to the back neckline, you can see, and also to the down part of the back bodies as well. So now what we are going to be doing next, we're going to be using this lining to turn the sides, okay, neatly, so that we'll have a neat finishing inside this dress. Okay, we do not want a rough finishing. So look closely, guys. I'm just going to be flipping this dress to the wrong side, and I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and use about 0.25 rather to stitch it at the sides. Then once I'm done, I'm going to be bringing them out from the armhole so it is nice and neat. Okay, I'll repeat the same step for the back bodies as well. I'm going to be flipping this to the wrong side, and I'll secure it down with a stitch, the lining and the fabric at the sides. So the opening at the armhole area I will be using to turn it inside out. So guys, you can see what we have. You can see what I did. I also top stitch it in front as well. It is looking so neat, guys. Inside this dress is super neat. So now we're going to be going ahead to join the shoulders together. So to make our shoulder also very neat, come closely, guys. I'm just going to be putting my placing my fabric like so, lining to lining, fabric to fabric, making sure the midpoint of this is meeting at that line that you stitched it down. Okay, then just hold it like so, take to the sewing machine, make sure lining to lining, fabric to fabric, then you stitch it down with 1/2 inch like so, and I'll repeat the same thing to the other side of the shoulder. Then I'll go ahead to join the sides, close the sides together using my 1 inch allowance that I left. So now you've seen what we have done. We have gone ahead to hold this side and also join the shoulder together. So we're just going to be leaving that aside and start working on the sleeve. So the sleeve, we are going to be hemming the down part of this sleeve, and we are going to be, after hemming this, we are also going to be using our bias, okay, our velvet bias as well, to highlight this sleeve. Okay, we're just going to be placing it on top after hemming the down part and just stitch it down to the hem of this sleeve. Then once we are done doing that, just join the sleeve together like so and stitch it down with your allowance. Okay, then once you're done doing that, you fix it to the bodice and our dress is ready. So guys, this is the final look of our dress, looking so beautiful. Guys, if you are still not subscribed to this channel, please do well to hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified when next I upload my next video, and also do not forget to give this video a thumbs up because it helps the channel grow. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.